While I do think some forms of AI can be helpful, I firmly believe that it shouldn't be used as a replacement to real human teachers for something as personal and emotional as learning a language. I admit that I regularly use some AI tools, for example, a site like DeepL when I need a quick turnaround for things like translation or finding synonyms, but in my experience achieving a degree of fluency in French in less than 3 years from scratch, I know the most effective methods I used all involved real teachers. Et pour ceux qui sont intéressés, j'ai publié une autre vidéo où je me présente et je parle un peu de mon niveau en français, et tu peux trouver le lien dans la description. Now, regardless of what level you're starting at or are hoping to achieve, there are cost-effective and convenient methods to learn a language from a real teacher, and also all the irreplaceable benefits that come with them. In this video, I'll discuss all the disadvantages that discouraged me from using AI to learn a language and share the alternative online platforms that I prefer to use instead. So first, to address some of the obvious advantages of using AI, I know many chatbot tools are free to use, which makes them accessible for more users. When it comes to availability, I know chatbots are available at any hour of the day or night, and you don't have to schedule a lesson ahead of time, nor do you have to cancel if you have a last-minute conflict. And I know that the responses are immediate. The moment you ask a chatbot any questions, you can expect a response right away. So sure, that's all convenient, but are you really learning? I think the biggest disadvantage of using AI to learn a language is this. It can actually be hindering you from reaching your most important goal. Now, this is the most significant reason why I personally don't use AI chatbots to learn French. People often ask me if I use them, and my response is always this. I think back to my original goals and my reasons for learning French, and it's simply to be able to understand, communicate, and express myself with real people in French. My goal is not to communicate with chatbots. So if I have the opportunity to choose between the two, I will always choose to communicate with a real person. Because even if I still have a long way to go, if I practice French with a real teacher and other real students, then I'm already achieving that goal. Now, another disadvantage of using AI, your memory can't benefit from the emotional aspect that you get when speaking with a real person. Maybe you've heard the phrase, you might not remember what someone said, but you'll always remember how they made you feel. Communicating with a real person means you experience real emotion, and our memories are often tied to our feelings. For example, the pride you felt when a native speaker complimented your accent, or the joy you felt when you cracked a joke and made someone laugh, or the sense of curiosity you felt when you eavesdropped on someone else's conversation, or even the embarrassment you felt when you learned you accidentally used a vulgar expression during a formal interview. Now, these moments are part of the language learning journey, but they also form a part of your life story, and your memory will be better served if these experiences happen authentically instead of artificially. Another disadvantage is that there's less real-world context. With generative AI or chatbots, they may be able to give you detailed summaries of general collective experiences, but having a conversation with a real human can give you specific advice or anecdotes or guidance based on real experiences that they've lived. Also, a real teacher who speaks natively will be able to provide more context about topics like the evolution of a language, or more accurate usage of slang or familiarity, or the commonality of specific words or phrases. Language is ever evolving and expression is very personal, and the more that you can communicate with real people, the better prepared you will be for communicating effectively with real people in the real world. And the last disadvantage that I've noticed, when using AI to learn a language, there's less motivation and less accountability. If you're trying to make a habit out of learning a language, it helps to have a greater sense of accountability to show up to your lessons or classes. To learn a language using AI, you would have to be really skilled at motivating yourself to remain consistent, to apply your learnings, and to follow through with your assigned tasks. If you choose a learning method that involves real people, you'll be more inclined to remain consistent and be present if others are relying on your participation or your attendance. I personally am much more motivated to follow through with something if it's fun or if someone else is counting on me. And in my opinion, chatbots don't provide either of those elements. So What are the alternatives? One of the online language learning methods that I prefer to use instead of AI is Preply, which is an online platform that connects language students with private teachers from all over the world. Students can filter through their network to find teachers that specialize in particular subjects or in test preparation, or simply to find a native speaker to practice conversational skills with. Another benefit with Preply is that it's possible to narrow down your search filters to find a teacher that's within your budget and lives in your time zone. And my other recommendation is LINGODA, which is an online platform that offers live small group classes as well as private classes. Students can purchase class packages to follow their flexible curriculum at their own pace, or join a sprint, which gamifies the learning process and gives students a reward for completing a certain number of classes within a 2-month period, which is 50% cash back or 100% back in the form of class credit to continue progressing on the platform. Both of these methods helped me make real progress when learning French, and I encourage you to give them a try, especially if you've been already trying to learn a language with AI and feel like you haven't been getting anywhere. I've linked discount codes below for both Preply and LINGODA if you're interested in trying either of those out, and I wish you the best of luck.